Oh no, the Canadians are coming.
Chris, John, and Irish Ashley combine to make the ultimate team, better than any wet dream. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream. John's the CEO and Boomer. Ashley's the real leader. Chris brings the vibes and juices as our enjoyment increases. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! Look, I look like I'm in heaven.
Yeah, you do look like. Are you in heaven or are you in a hostel in Victoria? Trick question. Same place.
Oh, I may have found a place for the next couple months.
Is that dead guy's house?
No, the dead guy's family decided they didn't want anyone living in the dead guy's house. Fair enough.
Yeah, especially with you, because I feel like you would do some desecrating.
I'd be very curious. I'd want to know about the dead man's life.
Yeah.
That's
Chris, a couple of good questions. Someone's been rifling through the various safety deposit boxes left by this man who couldn't survive gallbladder surgery. Taken down by the gallbladder would be a real piece of shit move. Oh, you're on a smoothie as well. I got a banana and protein powder guy going right here. Ooh.
Oh shit, we effed. Oh damn.
So early, so quickly,
so soon.
I mean, goddamn, goddamn.
Well, hot goddamn.
Let's take this moment to thank everyone.
Still going strong, Tet. We love you. You're watching on both, Tet. What a gem.
Go on, Tet. I just want to say this to the podcast listeners. Our metrics are slowly going up. Thank you so much for listening, podcast listeners.
We love you.
We will now continue to ignore you and head back on over to the main chat feed. Also, if you'd like to join us live, we are live Sunday through Thursday on twitch.tv/untitled Twitch stream. You can pop in there. We don't announce it much because it would be weird to plug the thing that 30 to 40 people now watch on a daily basis, which bothers me that many people don't have jobs.
It's kind of wild. I mean, I think a lot of our viewers are in at 10 p.m.
Yeah, they're in the UK. Yeah,
they're hanging out, which is odd. I mean, I guess because people are at work, we don't get that many North American viewers. I guess that makes sense, but it's still a little surprising.
It is. Well, it's one of those things where it's also our careers still are very UK. Like, was I a comedian longer in the UK or was I a comedian longer in Canada? Let's do this math. 2006 to 2012, 6 years. 2012 to the very beginning of 2018. So I'm going to call that 5.5 years. Goddamn. So like I technically was a comedian longer in Canada, but 3 of those years I was a unknown open micer in Montreal. So London, I think eventually it'll be America. I don't see myself leaving America anytime soon. How's the chat? Are people back yet?
No, not yet. I'm going to remove Twitch and then I'm going to re-add it.
Did they all just boot over to YouTube?
BDI Productions, what's going on? How you doing?
R.I.P. Twitch. At least they're
saying how they all hate you guys.
Yeah.
Weirdly, Twitch is broken. You're fine on YouTube. Hey, Thomas, thanks so much for watching and thanks for commenting. It's good to know you're out there.
Thank you, Thomas.
Welcome. Well, we just restarted the thing on Twitch, so hopefully that'll work out.
This is wild because it's literally like it went from the viewer count I'm looking at. It went from 6 to 20 to 35 to 19 to 6. We're back, baby. Welcome back, everybody. So sorry for the quick delay.
Yes, many apologies. Thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate that you understand.
And also thank you for taking us through a litany of tech problems. And by the way, strap in for more tech problems because we're changing platforms because StreamYard, which I had pretty much nothing to complain about, they fixed something in that way that people with tech companies fix things where they're like, hey, you know that font? You got 2 options. What's the result of doing that? Oh, nothing else works for 6 months. Well, why would you do that? I don't know. Like I'm reminded of this time last year, I updated my Mac, and by updating my Mac, then nothing worked for streaming. Like I then had to just stop gaming whatsoever and move over to IRL streams because I couldn't game. It was insane. Thank you.
Is this Evan? Is this Evan Demaray?
It is Evan Demaray.
Evan Demaray, how you doing, buddy? Evan is back in Canada, I think.
Yes, he is.
I saw a very sweet video of him surprising his sister over Christmas. It was very nice.
I mean, I have to tell you,
so many hugs.
If I was a member of his family, I would have beaten him up. I would have been like, no, don't surprise me after 2 years from Australia. I think that's My family all loves, but big swaths of my family all love surprises. But here's what they don't consider: that it's okay. You just surprised me, but now you're just here for like I had no idea that you were like. It's different because Evan was going to his hometown, but I've been surprised where people come to where I am, and that's always kind of like it's fun now, but like I wish you told me so I could have cleared my schedule. Do you know what I mean? Like now I can't really see you.
Yeah, surprising retired parents is perfect because they got nothing going on.
That's what you want to do. You want to surprise, or doing what Evan did, which was surprising in his hometown.
Yeah,
do you know
at
what I'm
Christmas.
saying?
So everyone's going to be there anyway. So it's perfect
and
timing.
it's a definite like break. You know what I'm saying?
But I love the idea of surprising you, the hardest working man in show business, because it'll be like, hey, John, we're here. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to Austria for the next 4 days. So
I had to have a serious conversation with my uncle because he would surprise me in Edinburgh. And I was like, you have to warn me because like he did it because he was like, you work too much in Edinburgh. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to make time to see you. I didn't know you were going to be here. And it's that sort of thing where it's like, I would have scheduled this differently if I knew you were here. Cause then I wouldn't have, I'm giving the rest time I build in to hang out with you. That's the sort of thing.
So it's not rest. It's more interaction.
Yeah, it's more interaction. That was a excellent conversation. I also had to have a long conversation because I was in the midst of firing someone that I used to work with, and my uncle very kindly was trying to include that person in a variety of familial things, and I finally had to go, "You're fucking up my business here, bud." And he was like, "I had no idea," and I was like, "I know it's a professional relationship." And you're acting as a personal relationship, which is totally fine. But I got to make an overcorrect. It was a really good conversation afterwards. But in the moment, I was just like, it's one of those conversations that you'll all have with older members of your family or in your life where you're like, you know how you're an adult? I am an adult too. And I must now go be an adult. And you have to not make me not be an adult. And it's
I know
one
people
of those
call
nice
this me following my dream, but there's a lot of work involved in that. There's
a lot of it.
Time
and it's
and
also
effort and relationship.
so much more annoying work put into it.
Yeah, like the number of times that I've been invited to things and people go, "Oh, what do you mean you can't come? Everyone's going to be there." It's like, yeah, that's because you all work 9 to 5, and I work Friday, Saturday nights, so I can't be there.
I had almost a near falling out with a bunch of friends in 2010 when I said I'm not coming to your weddings anymore because I nearly had to move back in with my parents after the summer of 2010 because everyone got married and invited me, insisted I come and host their wedding.
Of course.
And at the end of it, I went into debt as a result of that. And then I was like, I'm not coming to anyone's wedding ever again. Like, you can't do this.
Oh,
and
King Gio coming in. Hey, that's when I got married.
Gio was part of it. King Gio was definitely a part of it. And his was not the most egregious. There was another one where, like, I was like, can I not host your wedding, please? Can I not? Because I then don't get to enjoy it. And they said, no, you have to. And I said, okay, fine. And then I just got...
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Nope, you don't. I've said no.
Yeah,
I've said no. No, and or this is what you also do. I go, okay, fine. It's $5,000.
What if I just give the best speech?
No.
How about that? How about I just give the best speech? I love giving speeches at weddings.
I would rather not give a speech.
I love giving speeches at weddings.
Here's what happens every time. Oh, a comedian's giving a speech. This will be really funny. I had an old drunk woman heckle me at a wedding and then come up and go, that wasn't very funny. And I just went, I'm out of here. I mean, I have a big problem with a variety of weddings. At my aunt's wedding, and this was not her fault, a friend of the mother of the woman who was babysitting my aunt's daughter at the wedding started making a bunch of demands on myself, and it was the closest I've ever come to calling a woman a cunt in the wild. Like, not on stage, but literally like, madam, you are this, get the fuck away from... They literally, in the middle of... That woman ruined the wedding by... There was an order in which everyone was supposed to go out, and she just walked out and went, "You're doing this wrong, everyone out now."
Wow.
Yeah. Like,
she sounds like a dream. What a cool lady.
The worst person.
What a fun presence. I like that. I like when people stop everything because it's not exactly the way they wanted it to be. I think that's great, especially if everyone's having a good time.
Walked up to me and said, "Why aren't you doing the speeches?" And I said, that's when I went, I remember this. I went, "Who are you?" And she went, "I'm on the groom's side." And I went, I don't know when the speeches start. She's like, you should. Oh, I was so angry. Oh my God. Oh, I'm literally getting angry right now thinking of this woman. And it wasn't until I like spoke to my aunt and her husband afterwards. And I went, who is that woman? And they were like, this person. I'm like, do you know what she was doing during your wedding? And they were like, no. And I was like, this. And they were like, what? And like, we're talking like mothers being called. Yeah, it was Christmas Eve. They're literally holding their like brand new days old child, being like, get me this C's number so we can call her and be like, thanks for fucking up our day. Oh my God. Oh, that if I could remember that woman's full name, I would say her full name. I would dox that woman. Attention, redhead with glasses and mid-50s who lives in Ottawa. Madam, I challenge you to a fist fight.
Ooh, that's rough. Ooh, that's rough.
And I give her the first 5 shots free. Kick me in the dick, all that sort of stuff. Because much like during my rant about a certain comedian, you may choose fist, I choose car.
UTS, where violence is sometimes the answer.
It is sometimes the answer. Chris, when is violence the answer?
Sometimes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not always.
Not always, but occasionally. Hell yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah. Why wouldn't you just?
I'm loving your vibe today, bud.
Stab
you got the paperboy hat on, sleeveless Motorhead t-shirt, Mike Tyson fighting cops.
I mean, because I wanted a different the star background. The problem is it really reveals the light differential I got going in the kitchen. So I went back to this one because I liked it the best. I also added this one I can show you, which I like as well. Are we all ready for this?
I missed my green screen. I've got the actual like screen bit, but I don't have the stand because it was a little too big to pack. So I need to get a fresh one. But Kimmersby coming in. Have to say, hat is very nice on you, John.
Thank you, Kimmers.
Nice. I like that background. That's very warming.
The chicken tenders.
Yeah, it's just calming. You know, nice straight fries. I like that.
Yeah, see, you got some. I mean, they're the wrong fries, though. I do think the only thing the English ever gave us that was good were those chunky chips.
They're okay. I'll take straight.
Disagree.
I'll take string chips all day.
I disagree entirely. I see why you would like that. I just fundamentally disagree.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where I go, exactly. It's also, I like French fries. I don't just count them as a side dish. Like you can have chips. I've been vegetarian enough times in my life where that just if you become vegetarian or vegan and you live anywhere but a big giant lefty liberal city, get ready to really know a lot about French fries because that's what's for dinner sometimes.
Yeah, baby, it's French fries and cheese pizza. Good luck. Good luck out there. It's fucking rough.
I remember when I was a vegetarian in 2011 in the UK, and I asked a guy. I remember saying like, "Hey, 2 slices of cheese pizza," and I just went. As a joke, I was like, cheese pizza here's vegetarian. He's like, no. I was like, what? He's like, sauce is full of meat, like full. And I was like, what?
That's so funny.
And I was like, that's so, you're on purpose fucking with you. And it's the restaurant in Leicester Square that is expensive for the type of restaurant it is, but for so cheap for that area that has the patio right on Leicester Square.
Is that the big one on the corner?
It is. So it's okay. On one corner, you got the casino right across, like right there. That place. If you've ever seen a show of mine in Edinburgh, written on an outside table there while hard smoking cigarettes.
King Geo, you absolute delight. Thank you so much for the tip, buddy. We love you. We love you. Buddy.
Why is it 688?
Yeah, that feels pointed, but I like it.
Is it something to do with your wedding?
I think I told you this before, but the when I went out to Croatia with my girlfriend at the time, it might be exchange rates.
Code.
Yeah, because it's American
code.
We went out because our friends, our bosses, currency. Yeah, figured. Gio, we love you, buddy. Thank you. Our bosses bought a place out there, but they hadn't turned it into the hotel that they eventually turned it into, and they were like, "Just stay there. It's fine. There's like some furnishings." And we had a great time. It was sort of a hollowed out husk of a building, but Croatia's beautiful. And she was vegetarian and I wasn't. So all she had the whole time were the worst salads in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And cheese pizza. Meanwhile, I ate the best steak I've ever had in my life every day, all day.
But here's the thing. And I by the way, I fundamentally believe this. Vegans are right.
Oh, yeah.
You've done well on this argument. There is no disagreement. I am wrong. Vegans are right. They are doing the ethically superior thing.
Completely.
That said, Do I want this one? Or do I want this one? No, this one.
Excuse
But that said, there's some places where, guess what? News hasn't fucking hit there yet.
Yeah.
Don't just do the grandma rule, which is, and also like
Yeah.
I just be like, it's your grandma, so just eat it. And also you're
grandma's
gonna miss out. It's one of the like, if you go to Eastern Europe and you don't eat something that's boiled that somehow still has flavor, well, then you're not appreciating the country. You're like, the thing with Eastern European food is it's so good, but all you want to do is like, how did you do this? Because I know how you made this and I know where it came from, and in no way were any of those ways healthy or to encourage taste.
Yeah, no, it was about getting as much as you can out of it, and then you use the water to become a broth for something else. It's it's just very smart. That's what boiling a lot of food is. I go down sort of like not quite like survivalist stuff, but just like how to make a fire in the woods kind of videos on YouTube, shit like that. And one of them was
I live in this future too, Chris. I know why you're doing it.
Don't if you ever get meat, if you're out, like if you're in the woods and you're stuck there for whatever reason, by choice or not, don't cook your meat over an open fire, like they always do in shows where it's like on a stick and they're sort of doing it and they tear parts of the rat off. Because part of it is what you want to do is boil it if you can, because that melts down all the marrow and stuff like that, and all the cartilage, and that adds, which is stuff that your body wouldn't normally be able to break down. And then also you can then use the water later on as a source of more nutrients. So you get a lot more, as opposed to like burning the fuck out of the meat, because how often do you cook over an open fire and losing out on a bunch of stuff? So you boil everything. If you're ever stuck in the woods, boil everything.
Yeah, basically just keep a fire going at all. Like, how do you survive in the woods? Get fire, keep fire going. Wait.
Fight urge to drink own piss.
Disagree. Immediately drink
Fight
own
it.
piss as fun treat.
Fight the urge. Just because there's no witnesses doesn't make it good for you.
Well, listen, sometimes you have to celebrate the fact that you almost sucked your own dick, and what better way to celebrate than pissing in your own face? I mean, what a show for Ashley to miss.
Also, excellent point by Yes Meatballs. Boiling also kills many of the parasites in wild meat. So
yeah,
it's all good stuff.
It's crazy.
Sometimes piss tastes great. I saw the Community episode with Betty White. I know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about?
Betty White was a teacher in 2 episodes of Community, and in one she was drinking her own piss. She said, "Okay, more of my own urine for me."
Here's what I have to say about Community. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love hearing about the episodes from friends. When I watch it, I go, what a show devoid of anything or anyone likable. And an effort's been put into that by the writers, because with the removing Joel McHale, everyone else involved in that show is endearing as fuck. Also, do you guys remember when Glow came out and because Alison Brie is in Glow, everyone recalls?
Yes, she is. Yes,
that was the Alison Brie was she was the last woman where dudes in my circles anyway quickly alerted everyone that you see her Norks episode 1. Like that was I didn't like it had been 10 years before. We haven't had it since, but I remember that like day 1 of Glow, more than one person. You should watch Glow. It's about wrestling. You like wrestling. Also, you see Allison fucking what's her face's titty boo boos, and you're like titty boos. You say,
I was shocked. I was shocked when I saw those titties. I was very much like Alison Brie. My goodness.
My favorite thing: a friend of mine got flirted with by Alison Brie. Was not into her, and then someone pointed out that was Alison Brie. He tried to go back in, failed.
Yeah, she's cool. I really liked Glow, and I've been I've been watching. I've been rewatching Mad Men, and she's in that. She's Pete Campbell's wife, which I'd completely forgotten, and she does a great job in that too. She's real psycho in that show.
Fuck Pete too.
Yeah.
Oh,
just a couple of lunatics.
One of the many characters on that show where I was just like, it was. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to do my impression of the arc of Mad Men. Season 1, 1,000 interesting possibilities. Season 2, somehow we've narrowed those categories unnecessarily. Season 3, Yawn City. Continue. Like it's just you're like, what?
Yeah, I'm into.
How,
I think I'm into
have you
season
made this
4.
Oh, fuck
And
yourself.
it's
Go
so
on.
boring. It's suddenly so boring. Like for the first time, because I've just had it on in the background, like I'm watching it, I'm doing other stuff.
Let's slow it down, baby.
But my God, it's the first time that like one of the characters said something, and I just went nope, and just hit pause, and went on to watch something else. And it wasn't even like one of the awful things that they say, because you take that for granted with the show. It was just so weird and pointless that I was like, hate this. Absolutely bad.
The only way that they could, I feel like, by the way, spoiler alert, double spoiler alert. I feel like in the TV
Ooh.
show Loki, they made him DB Cooper just as a kind of like, this is what we wanted from Mad Men. It felt like that one scene was like, this is what we're looking for, guys. Why, like, he invents the Coke advert? Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, he does a lot. He does a lot of them. I mean, whoever invented the ads in that are pretty good at advertising.
But again,
There's some real
here's
good
what I'll
ones.
say about that. Is like, welcome to Mad Men. It's a propaganda show that says, you know who are really cool? White men in the 60s.
No, they're all losers. They're all
Are they?
losers.
Are
Every
they?
single one of them is a fucking loser.
Well, then
They're
you're
so
the only
pathetic.
one that took that away, because I know so many people that are like, man, what an aspirational show. And I was like, is it? What's happening in the chat? I have a
Weird. I don't know what to do about Ranger. That's a weird one. It's Mad Men. It's just such a fucking weird. All the guys are like sad and whiny and alcoholics and shitty at their jobs. Whereas like all the strength is all the women's and stuff like that. I think we talked about that before, but it's anyone that walks away with it with Don Draper as a hero. It's Scarface. You misunderstood.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. Scarface is the greatest example of that, because it's like, what part of that were you like, that's a guy to be? And it's like, the guy who just dies? What are you fucking talking about?
The guy who openly laments that he got nothing that he really wanted, and now his life is a nightmare in a breakdown in a restaurant. That guy? You want that guy to be your hero?
Say goodnight to the bad guy. Yeah, but it's also the thing with hip hop culture is the greatest example of like, this will look cool and this rhymes with a bunch of stuff. Make it happen. Like, do you know what I mean? Like Scarface is just like, it's like, there's a bunch of cool lines we can sample in our songs. So fuck it. We're doing it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of great lines, but like all the dudes out there just wearing like Scarface t-shirts, and like the number of guys that I met when I was sort of university age, they were like, oh, my favorite movie is Scarface. I'm like, well, you're wrong. I'd rather watch Carlito's Way. Like, at least that
you're incorrect on that. Carlito's Way is also not that great. It's just neither of those movies are that good.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't pick The Godfather. Like, I'd rather watch Carlito's Way than Scarface.
I mean, I'd rather watch The Untouchables.
I've never watched all of The Untouchables. I always get half an hour and I turn it off. It's so boring.
It's really good.
Boring.
It's really good. It is not historical. It's like, it's shockingly historically inaccurate. Like, just like, no, that's like, Elliot Ness did literally none of that. And also a bunch of it's like, you couldn't have even done that. Like, but it's just, there's a couple of really good movies, and Sean Connery is just so fucking watchable in that movie. It's like the first, it's the only time where you're like, yeah, I guess Sean Connery deserved an Academy Award for that role for no other reason for a second. Like, there's 1 second in that movie where I forget Sean Connery is definitely a piece of shit. Like, there's 1 second. Basically, it's one of the many times he's saying, it's the Chicago way.
Isn't he basically play the same character in Rising Sun with Wesley Snipes?
He certainly does. Also, can we talk about the book Rising Sun, which I read far too young, which has a vivid description of period sex?
I read that too.
That is a real, unfortunately formative book. The
that was a weird one, by the way. King Geo, absolutely correct. Tombstone's the best.
Absolutely, of course. Yeah.
Sorry, Rising Sun.
Just way too much discussion of menstruation by a white man, so therefore all the information I gleaned, not true. I believe one of the villains is a kink for women on their periods because he loves blood. Like, there's something about that. And I just remember, I remember it was one of the first times where it was like, I read about menstruation, and I was like, in this book about murder of a person at a Japanese headquarters, it's so weird.
It's so fucking weird.
Well,
what kind of things do you think they got wrong about it? I feel like they went with period blood comes straight from the woman's brain, and that's why they act so hysterical.
I think that there's a full chapter where everyone is just throwing up because a woman mentioned she needed a tampon. It's a full chapter.
40 pages.
Oh, and 40 pages, only 2 paragraphs. That's how much that idea is explored.
We don't have a guest today. It's just the two of us. I think I've got one lined up for tomorrow.
I was gonna book a guest today, but I was like, I would like it actually if it's just the guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Speaking of being just the guys, I had a fun night at the Los Angeles Comedy Store. Saw a friend of the show, Frank Castillo, and had a real 2019 hangout. Like I shared a joint with him which I like right away was like, "What are you doing, COVID man?" And then I was just like, "I think we're all right," but still, like it was very fun, just getting some fun gossip. Watched Steph Tola, very funny comedian, and
nice
Pal,
one. Yeah,
do a spot.
Yeah, Steph's a killer.
Did roast battle.
Oh, how did that go? How'd you roast?
I roasted Matt O'Brien, another Canadian comedian.
Oh my god, you saw the whole gang yesterday.
The whole gang. We roasted each other. It was very fun. Matt won, and the roast before us was 2 people that didn't know each other, and they just went way too hard at each other. Like, and that's why you're a cunt bitch. Oh yeah, well if I was a lesbian, I'd kill myself because doing that is bad. Like it was just sort of like, okay. And then Matt and I I accused Matt of having blautism, and he said that the you know what I mean, like the I'm so divorced I invented the next COVID variant. It's lonelycron. Like it was just like, come on baby, let's do this. Like so fun and goofy. I insisted on bowing. I was reading it off. I have this giant clipboard that I kept insisting off of reading every joke, and I get the same note from the judges every time I've done roast battle, which is memorize your jokes. And they never get that it's clear. I'm doing this because they keep telling me to memorize my jokes. I refuse.
Isn't that fun when you're clearly doing a bit and all the comics are like, "Why did you do that?"
I know it's the story of my life. The amount of things I've been doing that are just a bit for so many different things. And I know you go, well, you're not very good at bits, and I was going, or am I so good at bits?
Do I just overcommit?
Yeah. I'm like Paul Foote, only I think Paul Foote isn't doing a bit. I think that's Paul Foote is doing what he thinks is stand-up comedy.
One of the best sparkles I've ever seen in a person's eye was when I was doing a game show that Paul Foote was hosting live at the Leicester Comedy Festival, and I can't remember exactly the thing. We were sort of ripping on it, and I was just in the zone, and I was having a lot of fun with him, and we were bantering back and forth. And he brought a woman on stage, and just as he brought her on stage, he turned around and gave me this mischievous look. And I was like, man, there's magic in this person. There's something very sweet and wonderful about this. And then because I had that thought, it took me out of the zone, and then I fucked up the rest of the show. I think he did it on purpose.
That's very possible. Where was the show? I got distracted by the chat. And
Peter's Pizzeria.
Peter's Pizzeria in Victoria. If you want someone who's recently
Leicester.
In Leicester. Sorry,
I was during Leicester Comedy Festival.
Sorry, I was totally not paying attention then. I was
God damn you, Hastings.
Reading the chat. I was checking to see if there's anything pertinent. Do you miss the Leicester Comedy Festival? It's happening right soon.
I love it. Yeah, it starts in 10 days. It's my favorite. I fucking love Leicester. It's my favorite comedy festival in the UK. I always have so much fun there. I actively look for extra dates to do my shows. And what I'm good about is this year, I got contacted by the festival because I won a fucking award the last time they did it.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey man, so we want you to do this, and we want you to do this, and we'll get you involved with this. And I was like, I'd love to, but I'm in Canada. So thank you. But goodbye.
Did you say I'll just come next year and do it?
Yeah, I said I'll be back as soon as things chill out. Then I'll be back for sure because they know I love them. I'm effusive in my praise both there and on Twitter. I really think it's a fantastic festival, and if any of you get a chance to go, definitely go.
I think it's very good. I do find the only thing I find annoying about Leicester is it should have a later train to London.
Yeah, it's fucking rude. But one thing, and actually, I mean, I sort of lost this connection because I used to be. I went to a festival in Copenhagen with the Leicester comedy people years ago. And so I knew the guys that ran it really well because we go out and get drunk every night. And so they were very good about me being like, I missed the last train. Can the festival just pay for a hotel room? And they're like, yeah, of course. So I got a bunch of free hotel rooms out of it. But that guy's moved on to greener pastures now, so I no longer have that hookup. But
I've had it a few times. I remember once being asked when I'll never forget this. And I'll tell you who the comedian is because we're not using the private chat, and it's very good. Which was, I remember, and this is such an Alex Edelman being able to do this, and it's so incredible he was able to get people to do this. Like, I was impressive, which was, I was opening a show so I could get the last train to London, and he got 3 different festival staff from asking around to ask me to switch with him so he could get the last train to London. And I never forget, I just walked into the green room and went, Alex, I'm not switching with you. I'm getting the last train to London. That's how this works. And he was just like, and then I will never forget, he goes, but come on, man, I was going to buy a ticket. And I was like, no.
Richard Wright is going to do lesser. Richard, put your show details in the chat so we can tell everybody.
Yeah. Also, if you guys are in New York, go see Alex Edelman's one-man show at the Cherry Tree Theater. Very talented comedian.
Yeah,
not great with admin, and will try and make it your problem. That's I have no problem with saying that about Alex. That is a criticism I would level towards him. He loves being like, I'm in trouble in this situation, and you always go, yes, you are. But this is a situation that can only be hindered if I enter it. So good luck, champ.
And you won't have a good time because you will be yelled at, Alex. You'll be yelled at a great deal.
Oh yeah, so fun. Oh my god, I remember that so. And I remember the genuine look of disappointment in his face. I remember like he was like I could see he was like, no, but it's me asking, and it's like, yeah, like it could be anyone, but have
you met any of his family?
I have not.
I'm very curious about it. I don't understand. I feel like they were too supportive. He feels like one of the rare comedians where it wasn't a withholding parent. It was a very supportive one.
Yeah, there's some stuff it's not like big gossip. I just know some family dynamic stuff where I could reveal it to you. This is entering into private. He has a brother who is, I think, an Olympic athlete. Yes, and right there, I was like, oh, I understand this. I got it. It's exactly that. You guys have been incredibly loved and supported, and that's what it is. Like, it's to the point of like it's the other side. Do you know what I mean? That other way. Yeah. Like I have the perfect mix of, hug, no hug, become an adult, both hug. That's that's basically it. So it's there's like, enough bad stuff happened in that I'm talented and funny, but it resolved itself of its own energy early enough. I had to go and then address all my own shit, which was very inconvenient and unfair of both of my parents, by the way.
We know you're watching. Mine was
shut it down, so I had to deal with me. You guys could have done just slightly worse of a job, and I could have continued to blame everyone else. But obviously
mine was very much not sure how they feel about me. Either way, honestly, can't tell. Find out through third parties. They're very proud of me.
Yeah, but that's because you're dealing with Brits and you're dealing with Ireland's and Brits right there. Like the fact that you only had to go to the third party shows that Canada really rubbed off on them.
Yeah, like I was texting with my aunt the other day, and she told me that my father is very proud of me, and I was like, I honestly didn't know that. Couldn't have known. He's a cagey bastard. He doesn't seem unproud, but he also doesn't seem like he's super in my corner. It's a weird one. Can't read him.
I would watch a reality show about your dad because I don't know what he's getting up to, but I know I'd be like, wait, what? It's like, he's been fixing bicycles under an assumed name for 10 years. And you're like, why? And he's like, he enjoys the thrill of deceit. And you're like, I got to tell you, this is exactly who Chris Betts' dad would be.
A long time ago, that was true. Now he just sits and watches TV and drinks too much. But there was a period where I'd be like, where's dad? And mom would be like, the woods. And he would just be gone for like 3 days.
That's any man in his 60s. They just fucking range. Like my dad is running again. He's going on walks. This has been for years now. But
did he just run a half marathon?
Yeah, he just ran a half marathon. He's getting after it.
That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, it is. I also am like, well, now I'm like, well, now I can add that to the list of possible ways my father's gonna die. You know what I mean?
I had I get like a weird joy out of liking your dad's Facebook posts.
Oh, it's great.
I really enjoy it. I don't know why it feels so satisfying. I feel that way about no one else's
I'll tell you why. His social media output is so the social media output of dad. Like it's so dad. It is the following thing: sports, achievements he's made, photos of his sons,
politics,
and then but politics, but never like this. Joe Biden's fucking up. It's like we got to do something about this metro line in Toronto. And here's the best part: does not live in Canada. None of his family lives in that. The closest relative he has who lives anywhere close to any of the politics he's talking about is my mom, and they have been divorced for 37 years.
Still looking out for her.
Still
after all these years.
Still making sure. Oh, it's wild.
By the way, we haven't mentioned it, but it's been right here the whole time. Richard Wright's show, Why Am I Hating Myself? February 12th, 13th at the Globe, 3 p.m. at the Leicester Comedy Festival. Get your tickets. Get involved.
I like the Globe. I like Pete's Pizzeria. That was a fucking great video. That was the upstairs one that was real fun.
Yeah, that one's fun. That one's a good one. Firefly, obviously. Leicester Comedy Festival took over. Not Firefly. What's the basement one? The Cookie. Yeah, Leicester. The festival bought the Cookie because I guess it went under during COVID.
They did?
Yeah, so they've taken it over. So it's an official. It's their venue and they run it year round with shows now.
Oh, great news! I love that venue. Oh,
that's where I was going to do my shows this year. They were like, "Hey, do you want a bunch of spots at the Cookie?" I was like, I really, really do."
Oh, that is the best place to do an Edinburgh preview, baby. Holy fuck,
good.
Tits.
Fuck. What do we got? We got Diamond's coming in with something long, so I assume it's worth reading out. Has sudden acute memory of booking Arthur Smith as an after-dinner speaker. And my boss greeting him at the venue and saying, "He's here, he's stoned, in shorts, and has disappeared into the woods. Go and find him." Yeah.
You can't. I got news for you. If you replaced stoned with smoking a cigar, that's my dad. Your father was here. He had a cigar. He talked to me about the gauge of cigar for a while. I found it oddly fascinating. And then he said, "Pardon me." And I heard some trees rustling, and I don't know where he is. And I assume I could find him. I would just have to. I'd be like, all right, which direction do I think the best rocks for sitting down and being quiet are? It's like, Well, we always, and here's the other trick of tracking a dad in the woods: always go north. That's the direction of fathers. Simple,
interesting,
easy, seems forward. You know what I mean? West, that you're standing still even if you're moving. East, too close to Russia for their taste, and south, it's going backwards.
I go by the wind. My dad's a sailing man. Wind at his back.
See, this is different. See, my dad's a businessman. He believes in capitalism, moving forward always.
Boom Siggery. I prefer south. Feels downhill.
Boom Siggery's not wrong, by the way. Also, Chris, I have a question for you. Where you grew up, which direction was the water?
West.
Do you always assume there's water towards the west?
For a long time I did, and mountains to the east, because that's how I used to tell where everything was.
Yeah, see, I grew up in Ottawa, and the river's to the north. I mean, I hope. I am honestly at this place not like I'm a bit turned around because it was Ottawa, the river was to the north, and then everywhere else I've lived subsequently south.
Yeah.
And so but here's the problem is I know that Ottawa's one way, everywhere else is the other way. I don't always know which one is which makes trying to get around really annoying, because it's like either we are headed exactly the right direction or exactly in the wrong direction. I do not know how to tell that if that is true without a map, unless you have a map.
I've gotten good at this. Is when I'm becoming an adult nonsense. I can now tell what direction I'm going in by the sun.
Fuck you. I can't
very good at. I can just look at the sun and be like, "Oh, okay. I know what time of day it is, ish, and I know what direction I'm going in." And I'm like, "I'm ready. I don't want to be a dad, but I could be a dad right now. I'm ready. I'm set."
I mean, my Japanese friend can do that really, really well. Always knows what direction they're going. Until they got to the United Kingdom, specifically London, and it dawned on them. You don't see the sun. Good luck.
Yeah.
All that happens is you wake up and it just gets brighter.
Yeah, that's it. But in what direction? You'll never know.
Above.
Steve, you would think so, but no, I actually figured it out. I started piecing it together because of the British Columbian flag, which has a sun on it, because we're the last time zone. We're the last people to watch it set.
Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's why it's there. It's the sun, and above it is the Union Jack, because it's British Columbia. And I realized this only clicked a couple weeks ago that the Union Jack is on top because the sun never sets on the British Empire.
I mean, as it turns out, it really does.
Oh, it totally does. It totally does. But
I wonder
they couldn't have that.
So with all the
literally a sun setting on the British Empire and a flag, they would have been pissed.
All the British Empire. I mean, whatever. All of the stuff going on about Boris Johnson. It is so like imagine this is what I want to do. I want to go back in time and find Queen Victoria and just explain to her what is happening politically in England in 2021, 2022. Like, first of all, as soon as I just told her who the mayor of London was, she would start throwing up.
Yeah. Especially when you explained that it was her fault.
Like, yeah, you're the reason.
You did this.
What? I thought we would have killed them all. Like, oh my God, that's so nuts.
Yeah, there's a comic here that asked me if she should go to the UK for a little while.
Yes.
And I was like, you definitely should, because like you'll grow a lot, you'll have a lot of inspiration creatively, and but also heads up, their government's about to fail, and they have no grasp on COVID whatsoever. So whoever takes over might just go, you know what, lockdown time, let's do this. So heads up, you might just walk into a massive lockdown. But she seems excited. She seems excited.
I don't think they're going to lock down. I also don't think that they are going to have an election. I think what's going to happen is Boris is just going to not leave.
They're trying to get the pity now. Did you see the reports of him crying?
No.
Yeah, there are reports of him weeping because he might have to step down. It's like, now's not the time for sympathy, buddy. You're not that figure.
I got news for you. I remember when I hated England before. You guys all tried to kill me with COVID. I'm done. Like, go fuck yourselves. Also, and I remember all of the people, and there were a bunch of you throughout COVID who went, bet you wish you'd stayed here. No. Bet you all wished you'd moved to another country. I also feel that way about a bunch of Canadians, especially in Ontario, where they're like, you should have just come back to Canada. I was like, I knew you guys were going to fuck this up eventually. Like America has not handled this well, but they've remained explicitly consistent on how badly they're doing. And there is attempts at improvement. In Canada and Britain, it was literally like, we're winning. Shut it down. Time to lose. Like, it was like, what? No.
One of my favorite things that I found out the government was doing during COVID is that they're testing our poop. I think that's so funny. I think it's fucking hilarious.
To see how much COVID is there?
Yeah, the wastewater that they're testing all that. When I'm like, that's pretty smart. I can't believe they thought of that. And it's very funny that they're just like, we won't send them tests, but we will test their poops.
Here's what I think is funny is I have a feeling they did not think that up. I have a feeling someone else.
Well, I'm sure it was a scientist that recommended it and they took it on board.
I don't think it was. I think it was someone had to prank them into doing it. Also, it was a prank. What the fuck was that noise?
Oh, there's someone in the hall doing housekeeping. That was they're doing room checks today. They checked in with me today. They saw I had a metal lamp. We're all good.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I guess someone didn't have a metal lamp. They came in. They were like, just specifically checking on this lamp. I was like, all right. I don't know what happened in the rest of this place, but my lamp is intact.
What is it like? How are the other guests at this place? Because I feel like you're the rare long hauler. You're just seeing a lot of people that are trying to just be backpackers.
No, that's most of us right now. I think because there's not much backpacking going on. Because, traveling, Omicron, it's January, so it's the quietest time anyway. So all those things overlapping, it's mostly people that are here for a while. Like, I've been here for, what's the date today? The 19th? I've been here for 19 days and I'm mostly seeing the same faces every day. Head down. That was awful. I see the same faces in the kitchen, see the same faces in the hall. It's all, we're all long haulers here. It's like a boarding house.
And this brings us back to my original or your original point. So, what is your potential new apartment?
The comedian that's thinking of going to the UK for a couple months is definitely leaving, as long as she can get flights and stuff. And so she asked me if I could take over her place, and it's a lovely little studio flat that's surprisingly big for a studio, and the price is only a couple $100 more than this. So hopefully, her trip comes through. I'll find out next Tuesday, and I'll be able to take her place until the 1st of April, when I will be moving out east to Toronto.
Oh, and reunited with your Anne Goodley wife?
Indeed.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
I'll alert my mother. You guys can have coffee with her.
Yes.
What parts of Toronto are you thinking of living in? Let's talk about this. I love Toronto. If I wasn't a comedian, I would live in that city. Here's the one problem you have with Toronto. London level nightmarishly expensive at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea. It really depends on if I get a good job or not. I'm still waiting on the interview for that production company. So if I get that, then I'll be fine because I'll make enough money. And if not, then I mean, the hope is that my aunt and uncle move back there, because they moved out to Nova Scotia for the pandemic, and so they've been there for 2.5 years now, because they had, like, her parents are from there, and they had like a little place on the water from years ago, and so they've been staying there. So I want them to move back to Toronto so I can stay for free in their basement for some time.
They
have a lovely basement suite.
Who's in that basement suite now?
Well, they rented out the whole house because they've been gone for 2.5 years, so I can't take it over with strangers.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Oh man, but Toronto is a fucking hoot. Is Evan? I'm looking at the chat all episode, but if Evan is in the chat, he I'm sure can elucidate some Toronto options, because it's also the problem is like even the areas I would suggest to look in are now just so fucking expensive. Like I live in Kensington Market, but this is now I left 10 years ago this year. Ladies and gentlemen, I have lived not in Canada for 10 years, which is very weird. Yeah, more of my adult life, is that right? More of my adult life out of Canada than in? No, that's a lie.
That's not true. It's true for me. It's true for me, but I don't think it's
100% true for me. Adult life, yes. Adult, like from 18 to 36, way more not in Canada than in Canada, but not your whole life. I would assume has been spent more out of Canada than in at this point.
Yeah. Basically, since I was 18, I've been gone. So there was like a couple years of Montreal there, but otherwise, I've been out. Yeah, it's kind of nice to be back.
Oh, Canada's fucking pleasant as shit.
It's pretty good, but I keep looking for an equivalent of Boots, and I haven't found it yet. I gotta say, UK gets a lot of things wrong. Boots, one of the most convenient stores I've ever used in my life.
I mean, the fact when they started having very good sandwiches, it was just like, I don't know what you guys are planning, but I'm on board.
Dude, they've got everything you need. It's the perfect train station store. It's got it all. I love it there. And there's nothing quite really like it. Shoppers is close, but just doesn't quite cut it.
Because Shoppers is the problem with Canada is Canada thinks you're going home. England is a great country because all the stores are like, I assume your home burned down today. Here's the stuff you'll need. And you're like, I do need that. The amount of different places you can buy a single banana in Europe is shocking.
Yeah, right? Just loose. Just
loose. Yeah. Pharmacies, gas stations, grocery stores. Like basically any business but clothing store, you could see a banana there.
So Evan's coming and he's saying the Junction is, I think, the only realistic cool place to live. Tell me about the Junction. I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's great. So thank you, Evan. The Junction is deep west side, which is better because Toronto is one of those cities that's deeply divided east-west. The east-west divide is, by the way, where Bloor becomes the Danforth.
Okay.
And where I grew up, and that's the cool side of town, is you always lived on the west side. So always west side in Toronto. A couple of reasons for that, guys. One, most of the stuff you're going to be going to is on the west side. And traffic in Toronto is terrible because I believe I don't remember what it was, but they were supposed to have, Toronto was supposed to be like one of those like in the future cities.
Yep.
Canada has a bunch of these, which was Canada basically after World War II as like big infrastructure things is to accommodate because they could see the baby boom coming, all this sort of stuff. Cities were quickly expanded because there was now a shitload more people. And in Europe, because they and UK specifically, as I understand, they heavily invested in rail as the way of building infrastructure.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Canada, the US, we invested heavily in highways. And in Canada, what they did was they built all of these highways to like this giant highway network. And then in Ottawa and Toronto, I don't know if this is true of other cities, but I know it happened there. They widened certain streets so that they could be used as arteries for those highways. And in Ottawa, those were very close to too many rich people, so they moved them onto small, not widened streets and created some of the most disastrous traffic situations ever. In Toronto, there's this thing called the Alan
Parsons Project.
It is the Alan Parsons Project. Yeah,
I've heard of it. Yeah.
One of the weirdest jokes in Austin Powers, because that gives you the indication that the Alan Parsons Project was a very popular band and was in fact not that popular. But
I've heard of them. I couldn't name any of their songs. That
did you hear?
Famous.
Did you hear of them from Austin Powers 2: The Spy Who Shagged Me? Because that's where I heard of them.
I mean, if I did, I only saw that in theaters, so that must have been a hell of a joke if it stuck around.
Yeah, it stuck around for me. I don't know when else. I've never been like, time to listen to the Alan Parsons Project. Any Koopies. The Allen Expressway was supposed to go all the way through to downtown Toronto. So on the east side and the west side, they would have two expressways that brought you from the highway all the way down into the city and meet in another highway that runs to a giant circle of highways encircling the city. Everyone getting to where they need to at a certain time. Instead, the Allen Expressway was supposed to go through Forest Lawn, home of Drake. And all those rich people were like, nah. So it just ends at the most inconvenient place on the west side. So getting to the west side of Toronto using highways is a nightmare. Yeah. So just live on the west side because it's so easy to get everywhere else. But getting there, you're like, fuck. Also, west side. So the junction is basically where a bunch of streets merge into one street and all of the TTC tram tracks, streetcar tracks, jam into one.
Okay.
It was kind of just like a weird, kind of dingy, shitty suburb when I lived there.
Okay.
And then because it's slightly inconvenient to get there because there's no subway for part of it, it got like super crazy, like nice and cool. I completely agree with Evan's recommendation. Also, guys, for your purposes, has a giant park called High Park. And now I'm now, this is weird. I'm now going to show everyone the play structure that's in High Park. It is the greatest park ever.
I'm so jealous of kids' playgrounds now. They're so much more interesting and open to imagination than the ones that we had. I mean, we made the most of the ones that we had. We never felt like we were missing anything. But my God, looking at some of these ones, I'm so impressed. The big, weird, like netting pyramids that are all sort of like, it's almost like fractals that are in there. I love them. I would have climbed the shit out of that. You would have had to tear me off.
Boomstickery, you know how I feel about MacArthur Park.
It's too frightening in the dark, if you ask me.
MacArthur Park?
It's too frightening.
Is that
dark?
Is that the song, or are you just rhyming? I don't know the song. This is the play structure in High Park in Toronto.
No, I was combining Jurassic Park, the song, with MacArthur Park. I just realized Jurassic Park is frightening in the dark. Which, did you see there's going to be a Weird Al Yankovic biopic?
Which is wild.
Crazy.
Why we don't need? There's already been one. And you know what
was it? UHF?
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
That's such a good movie. That movie is so much. If you haven't seen UHF, so much better than it has any right of being, and so adorably fun.
It's
when the guy needs the time, he's like, "What time is it?" And someone punches through the wall, and he checks the watch. Fantastic. Look at this.
What? Oh my God, I'm going full screen for this.
Of course, why wouldn't we?
Oh my God, that's a castle.
It's a full castle, Chris.
Oh my God.
Look at that. Look,
That's
it's like,
awesome.
and this it's so big. Like, this is them building it.
That's awesome. So much space to just run, just flat out run, and like just enough like elevation and delevation. That's what you call it.
But like, look how big it is. Like, yeah. Look how big it is. So it's like all the slides over here. So many different swings. And even better, do you know who built this park, Chris?
Brad Pitt.
I'm gonna do this. Like, boom! There he is, right there.
What? Homes on Homes?
Mike Holmes from Homes on Homes.
Oh, way to go, Mike. Whoa. Look up Mike Holmes married ? Click on that one.
Where?
Second row down, far end.
This one?
No, other end.
Oh, yummy dum dum.
Jesus Christ. Oh, what a sweet little girl. Jesus Christ.
It's
How,
like
how insulted would you be if you were Mike Holmes and they're like, this is you, right? Found you.
this is him though. That's definitely Mike Holmes.
Is it? Because I thought that the question mark meant that they're like, is this Mike Holmes's wedding picture?
No, this is just Mike Holmes. Do you not remember Canada in the 90s? Yeah,
I mean,
there.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
This is so definitely true. Okay, let's fucking Mike Holmes from Rock the Block. I do not know what Rock the Block is, but I hate it. Yeah, it's so insane. Yeah, Mike Holmes of Homes on Homes, Canada's classic construction television program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's the big one. Canadian hero, Homes on Homes. That's so funny. Boom Sigger says the kids park by mine used to be so amazing and dangerous. Then they removed a tier every time a kid had a bad fall.
Oh my God.
Take one off.
I remember. Do you remember those play structures they had? They were so 80s and 90s. They were the galvanized metal triangles. Like it's like triangle, and like built to a dome.
Yeah, those were great. So much pain.
So much pain. I remember watching a kid named Jeff scale that from the inside, like scale it up, over, and then hang. And as he was hanging, I remember he just looked at me and went, I don't think Santa's real, and then just dropped.
He had a lot of time to think because he was climbing up.
It was the craziest thing. Like it was, and by the way, it's the moment that planted the seed in my head. I was just like,
wow,
this guy's pretty good at climbing. So
our thing was always trying to walk up the outside of it without using your hands.
Oh, wild.
So you climb up and it's all about balance. We took some mean falls. Falling forward, doable. Worst case, your hands miss, your chest bumps on the metal, you're 6, it's fine. You fall backwards. That's a long day. That's a long day and a lot of explaining to parents and nurses.
Seeing hell. Oh my God. Like, oh, so much fucking crazy injuries in my life. So many.
This is great. Sarah says, favorite thing I saw recently in a park was 5 swings in a circle so you could try to kick each other.
I want to find this.
That's just top notch. That's urban planning right there.
5 swings.
Remember the massive metal slides that would give you 3rd-degree burns in the summer?
Oh
Yes.
my God. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes, of course. Or the time when they or when you think about it, just all the sand and just the shit you'd find in the sand. I remember finding so many lighters in the sand of McKellar Park.
We always had gravel. I don't know what it was about BC. Maybe it was a rainfall, but it was always gravel. Very little sand. Lots of tiny rocks wedged into your little body.
Aw.
You come back with weird, like they're almost like acne scars. You know, when you fall and then you've just got 1,000 divots in your forearms.
A butt of coals. Hang on.
Yeah, we used to have one that was a wooden tower that had to be at least 15 feet up, and there was a fireman pole that you'd slide down. But if you're playing tag or you're playing Girls Chase Boys, sometimes you just had to jump because they were right there. They might get you.
Christopher, what is
watching guys.
Boys Chase Girls? Because I got to tell you, I'm not liking the
Boys.
sound
Girls
of
Chase
this.
Boys.
So what happens?
Girls would chase boys, and then they would try to kiss you. If they caught you, then the girls got to kiss you. Yeah, kiss chase.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
Played it all the time. I was very fast. Only got
Running
kissed when I wanted to be kissed.
I mean, we never had any of those games except for there was this one kid who really wanted to get it going, and I remember he pitched. I remember we were 9 years old, and this was the game he pitched. He's like, "Here's the here. I want to know what this guy is doing now because I'm like, he's definitely killed." He's like, "Here's what we do. We're bigger than all the girls. We're stronger than all the girls. Let's grab them. We throw them underneath the slide. Tell them that's where they have to stay, and then we do what we want." And I remember being like,
Elaborate on what we want.
Here's what I remember saying, which is not great. Which I remember saying, I was like, I think we'll just leave the under the slide area. And I remember that being like, he was like, yeah, that's probably true. And I was like, see, I gotcha. I wonder what that guy is up to though. He's going to be a hard Google, or is he?
I don't know. I remember Sadaf told me that a guy that she went to school with who's a hard creep is currently a children's soccer coach in California. And she's like, Is it okay to preemptively call a community to report somebody?
100% totally fine.
Evan Comedy coming in with one of the greatest parts, the excavators, the two-handed, one lifts up, spin around, dip it down, alter it, dig the sand, move it over to the side, make a little pile. Could never build a pile higher than that because the crane didn't lift that far back. Hell of a toy.
I am so, if I can't tell, there's a possibility that the guy I'm talking about has become wildly successful.
No shit.
Yeah. Like wildly successful.
Holy shit. That's pretty crazy.
It is pretty nuts. No, god damn it.
Kimmers has a guy that she went to school with who's in prison for killing somebody.
No, I got a couple of people I went to school with who were in prison, I'm pretty sure.
Mildred, we can't do private chats anymore. Not this week. We got 2 more days of no private chat.
Yeah. And I would totally say this guy's name, except he's a private citizen, and that's just not fair to him. And he has a unique enough name where it's like he's one of 8 people.
Can you tell us what industry he's successful in?
Pharmaceuticals.
Ooh, yeah, that checks out. So here's what we do: we get all the pills, we put them under the slide, and we do what we want.
We want with them. Yeah. I mean, it's so funny if he's in America, which according to this he might be. It's here's what we do: we get all the pills, we change 1 microbe in each of the formulas that do nothing. We charge triple for it. Also, everyone.
Is it Martin Shkreli?
It is not Martin Shkreli, but I was about to be. I just watched the documentary on Martin Shkreli called Pharma
Bro. I watched the first half of that.
I have a pitch. He has a bunch of live streams. I would like to watch some of those.
It sounds so boring. He would be on for ages as well, like maybe a best of thing, but he would do it for like 8 hours. It was too much.
I mean, I gotta tell you, I completely agree with the point that documentary. There's a part in it. There's a reveal at the end, which is so, like, you're so shocked by. But the best part of it is Martin Shkreli, like, he got babes. Like, he dated a lot. He had a lot of girlfriends, and they are interviewed, and all of them are still like, actually, really nice guy. And you're like, And like, and the documentary, you walk away with being like, this is not a good human being, but he is not evil. He is a product of his environment. He listened. He listened when they said, this is how you get ahead. And he did it. Like, it's one of those ones where you're like,
he was just too brazen. It's like when Karl Lagerfeld said that he doesn't want fat people wearing his clothes. And it was like, the whole fashion industry acts like that. It's just, he's the only one who said it.
Yeah. It's so fun. Karl Lagerfeld, this is the thing of the wrestling industry lost a lot of people, and I listened to like sort of a couple of the retrospective podcasts on people that they lost. And the one thing comedy is true is also we're losing not the crazy people, but like the eccentric wacko weirdos. Like how Karl Lagerfeld just refused to say what his age was, and I always was like around in my 40s probably. And you're like, no, Karl, no.
Lied about where he was from.
Like more than once. Didn't he change it? Like he would just change it?
Yeah. Sweden, Austria, Germany. Turns out he was basically, he was almost certainly a Nazi youth. Almost certainly.
Karl Lagerfeld?
Yeah, born in 33. Born in 33. Almost certainly a Nazi youth.
Yeah. Like, if not, then something far worse.
This is great. Karl Lagerfeld had 15 iPod Nanos for his cat. 1 album on each unit. This is not a joke.
Oh, I love really successful people with no kids because that's just you have too much money. Because here's the thing, Jeff Bezos has kids and a wife, so Jeff Bezos has more money than Karl Lagerfeld.
Yeah, way more.
But he does not have more fuck you money. Like I have more fuck you money than Jeff Bezos. Do you understand?
No.
Like, yes, no, because I got news for you. Every time Jeff Bezos buys a fucking rocket for Blue Origin, his ex-wife. Jeff?
Yeah.
Jeff? Me? Like I could buy a rocket. It would be very bad and would have been built in the Soviet Union and is not getting far. Let's put it this way. Hey, Jeff Bezos, your rocket might go higher. My rocket will kill more people on the ground. How do you want to do this competition? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm talking about. Like financially, yes. He is accountable to someone for all expenditures. Not me. And also, I got good credit and I'm in America. I think I could get pretty close to Jeff Bezos' fortune in credit cards. No problem.
All right. We have a new challenge for the stream.
Yeah.
Can John get, well, let's just say what was left after the divorce, not what he's made since, $500 billion, I think.
Could I put myself in a situation to get $500 billion of debt?
Yeah. Let's see.
100%.
Let's see if you can do that. 500 billion.
In America, not only am I going to say I can do it in America, I'm going to cap myself. I only need to go to 2 banks. Like there's
I can't wait to see what fucking gear you're going to get. Your setup's going to be wild.
Oh, I'm just want it in cash.
Hmm.
I'll
Don't
take that loan. I'll take that loan
just
in cash.
put it in a savings account and just only lose the amount of the difference in interest between saving it and
100%
loan.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, that's great.
Well, the other thing that I get, this is the other thing that's so unfair about America, is the interest rates on super high loans are is so much lower than like mid-range loans, because they're like, if we've decided someone is fortunate enough to be loaned $8 million, we think that they can probably pay it back, so the interest rate is much lower.
Oh yeah, completely. All the smaller loans, it's way higher because they're like, you're poor, so we don't trust you. So 30%.
Yeah. Oh my God. I have like an amazing credit card. Like I had a hotel in London for 8 days for free because of the points from this credit card.
Sick.
The interest rate, if you do not pay it, is immediately an additional 25% is tacked on the second you don't pay, and then it's 22% each week. Like it's so crazy.
Those are mafia numbers.
Yeah.
Those are bigger than mafia numbers. That's 2.5 points.
Bear in mind,
That's a big one.
Paul Castellano was shot in the street because he was bringing it up to 20%. Yeah. It was always a flat 15. He went 20. Clip this motherfucker. Chase Manhattan Bank 20. Bear in mind, the interest rate advertised 22%. The 25% is your. It's not even called a penalty. It's like your money due fee. And you're like, fuck you. So your interest rate is technically 47%. Yeah.
So you're saying you could have lent me an extra 25%?
Yeah.
In theory.
Yeah, we could have, but we are not doing that. Here's the one thing you need to take away: we are not here to help you. And you're like, I never thought you were. And it's like, well, good, because
you know what I hate is so I remember like Warren Buffett coming out and being like, my only advice to young people is don't get a credit card. Don't do it. It's a trap. And then like so when I showed up here and they were like, okay, well, your credit score isn't great because you haven't lived here since you were 19. That was the last time I lived in BC. And I was like, okay, well, what do I do? And they're like, well, get a credit card. And I was like, but Warren Buffett said, no.
I don't listen to Warren Buffett. Who I listen to is, the guy from Catch Me If You Can, who's now the FBI's head fraud detector and is like the world-renowned best person at it. Like, there's a Google Talks with that guy that I've watched so many times. It's so fascinating about the world of fraud, about how to detect all of that sort of stuff. It's really good watch.
Send me the link because I don't know that guy's name.
Or I'll throw it in the chat.
Yeah.
But what he says is, "Fuck you, pay me surcharge."
Oh my God.
Yeah. Go to the bank to try and take out $10. Fuck you, pay me. Yeah. It's I think Frank
Abernathy.
What he says is, he said, and it's so great. And he goes, credit card is a trap because the reason why credit cards are more risk for you between your relationship with you and a bank is because the bank is assuming all of the risk with fraud. Anything else, you're assuming all of the risk, and the bank has to check you. So he goes, so what I do is, he goes, everything I do is on credit cards. Everything. He goes, everything I do is on credit cards. And he goes, I still get a paper statement. You always get a paper statement because in a court of law, they cannot fault a paper statement. It's up to them to try and be like, no, that's been doctored, because they issue it to you.
Okay.
So it was a paper statement, credit card. And he goes, and here's how you do it. You pay it off every month. You just pay it off. He goes, if you're going to go into your overdraft on your bank, still pay it off, because that will affect your credit score less than a credit card. And also then it's always clean, always there. And he goes, and then what they're doing is they're going to just up your credit limit so quickly especially if you're young, because all they want to do is get you hooked and never
Yeah.
let them get you hooked. And then he goes, he did it. He's like, I did it with my kids. So he goes, by the time they all graduated college, he goes, yes, they had student debt, but but what they then have is, is that what they then have is incredible credit score despite their student loans, which then won't be affected. And he goes, and it's one of those things where it just helps them with a bunch of stuff. And you're like, fuck, this guy probably knows. This is a nightmare. And this fucked me so hard moving to the States because you start at nothing. So it looks like you filed for bankruptcy. So coming to the States, I had to find a building. You have to find an apartment where someone can vouch with you for the landlord.
Yeah.
Like the first thing I did when I moved to the States, I literally got off the plane and I rented a car and drove to the closest bank and opened a bank account that could get me a credit card. Like they were like, do that and use the credit card for everything. I use it for everything for like weeks and weeks and weeks. Then they're like, get another credit card, always paid off, boom. And now I have this fucking credit card, which the fuck you pay me fee is so fucking funny. I find that thing.
Yeah, exactly. Boom. And this is the most efficient way to do things. Capitalism's all about efficiency, guys. Don't ever doubt it.
Yeah. Like it's oh my god.
It's so smooth. It's so smooth. I've been holding in a piss for a long time, so I'm gonna be back in 3 minutes. Hold shit down.
Let me see if I can find this guy. Oh, there he goes. It's the Frank Abagnale. Well, Chris is pissing, ladies and gentlemen. Shall we watch a little of this gentleman? I think that's a fine idea. So this is the man that Catch Me If You Can is based off of. I don't know if you guys ever watched any of these Google Talks before, but it was one of those ones where you're like, man, working at Google seems like it would be pretty sick, except for all of the mining of information and, of course, being bad actors on the international scale. This is exactly right, King Geo WTF. You see, I have a crazy points program. We're talking, I paid for one hotel for the entire time I was in the UK. Obviously, I lucked out in a variety of different circumstances and all that sort of things. But like the idea of not paying for a hotel in London for 8 days was one of the craziest things I've ever done. And I got to tell you, the city of London is so different. We're not even going to get to this video. Chris will be back by the time. The city of London, if you're staying in the city, like I was staying by Paddington Station. There's streams that I was doing from that hotel room. It was the tiny hotel room. Like it was not the nicest room, but I don't give a shit. It's wild. Your life is so much easier and so much more pleasant. Oh, just walk. Remember coming off of a train from went and did stand-up comedy at one David Hoare's stand-up comedy club in Bristol, I believe it was. No, it was the day I met David Hoare, so it wasn't at actually his club. And I just remember thinking, as I was getting in, the train was super late. I was like, "Fuck, I gotta take the." And then I was like, "No, I don't. I could just walk to my hotel." It was fantastic. I know a small business owner who uses travel card points for so much that pre-COVID he would fly to Japan once a year, first class, all points. Oh, buddy, like my points, I've used it. Like I got the card in July. In 5 months, I just put everything on it. I put everything on it. Travel, everything. I paid my rent with it. And I got up to like 90,000 points and boom, hotel room time. I didn't know about this Diamond Geyser. I read up on Frank. We didn't get to that video yet, Chris. I will.
Oh, I think I actually found it. Frank Abagnale, Catch Me If You Can, talks at Google, 2017.
Yeah, here is this. Boom. And
oh my God. Geo, I just read your thing about Japan. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, no. Like those certain credit cards, if you can get those, the link for that talk is right there in the chat, guys. If you want to give it a try, it's on Facebook, YouTube, and the UTS thing. Also, here's a weird, just random admin thing. Is yours also displaying 51, but then you go and look at it and it only says 35 people are watching? I'm very
confused. But that I feel like that means that YouTube and Facebook people are on.
Oh, well, that's very exciting.
We're broadcasting to 3 different spots right now. So it's pretty cool.
Be exciting, guys.
Be cool. We love you all. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, very nice. Good, great.
So what does he cover in this
Pretty
this
cool.
Google Talk?
I think he basically takes you through what he did. Now, I didn't know about this, which Diamond Geyser comes in, which is he most of his claims are unsubstantiated. Yet Spielberg fell for it because his charisma is off the charts. I also do think he definitely did some stuff because he went to jail for some time.
Yeah,
and then the
There was
FBI hired him.
falsification.
The FBI also then hired him to be basically their lead fraud investigator, and he revolutionized them catching con artists. Like he is,
Wow.
and then that's the main thing you listen to is him talking about all the ways that how you used to do it, and then him explaining how much more dangerous. I love how we went from 3 streaming different accounts to being on one account that streams to 3 different places. That's right. Well, actually, we were streaming to
9 different places.
Yeah, at one point because we were doing it because it would go to my YouTube, my Twitch, my Facebook, Chris's YouTube, Chris's Facebook, Chris's Twitch, and then Ashley's Twitch.
And I think my Twitter.
Oh yeah, and it went to your Twitter as well for some unknown reason.
Mm-hmm. People watched it. I used to get like 40, 50 views on Twitter.
Gadzooks. Wild stuff. I do feel so smart. I don't smug maybe is the word, but that we kept this going because it really looked like we weren't having another variant. Like it just looked like it was going to sort of peter out. And then Omicron. Oh, you want to talk about the most frustrating article I ever have read in my life, which I read this morning? Headline, new variants will be more dangerous than COVID. That is, or than Omicron. That was the headline. I was like, fuck, what have they discovered? This was the article. It was basically, this was not what it said the first sentence, but it was basically this. New variants more dangerous than Omicron is the headline you could read in 6 months if variants are more dangerous than Omicron.
What publication was that?
One of the British newspapers. I can't remember which one.
Hate it. That's you should be fired.
Like it was not the BBC, and that like the Guardian of all of them is just. I love the Guardian. I want to like the Guardian. What happened to their journalism? I think Trump and Brexit like burned their brains out. Like they just they have like
Did
adrenal
the same thing
fatigue.
to the Times.
Oh my god! And so now you just read it and you're like, who approved this? Like, yeah, quinoa declared gay by me, a man who just ate a duck, and you're like, what? Yeah, like it's just like it's seeped in everywhere. The Hayu variant is next. I don't even know what that means.
Is it the I hate you variant?
I hate you.
I fucking hate you. I hate you.
Yeah, thank you. It's so shame because like the Guardian pre-Brexit was a fucking force. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Which one of you is the one with people hitting on others commuters in it? Which is the one? What? Which one is the one with the people hitting on other commuters in it? Oh, that is. I think that's Guardian's Misconnections. Yeah. Which one is that one?
Yeah, I think so. That's the middle class dating.
Oh my god!
I was drinking an M&S gin and soda. You had an umbrella that was covered in Studio Ghibli characters, right?
Yeah, I want to find the misconnections. Can we read some misconnections?
Yeah,
is that what?
Absolutely.
Where?
Oh, by the way, so earlier Kimmers was like, Kimmers mentioned that cases are going down in the UK. I'm looking at the UK daily summary for NHS. They've stopped giving as many free tests now, so all the numbers will be going down. But 108,000 daily positive tests.
Holy shit.
108,359 deaths per day as of the 19th, which is today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Guardian soulmates. Thank you, Richard.
Soulmates, that's it.
As usual, what could I have done without you? What? Guardian soulmates has come to an end.
What? That's where they lost it. That's where they lost it. I
fucking told you. Oh my god. Let's all go through this article together. The governments are fiddling the books about Omicron. 438 died yesterday.
Soviet, where are you getting that? Where are you getting that information?
Yeah, where are you getting that? Come on.
Give us the source. It says, I don't want to call you a liar. There's a lot of hinky information going around, you know?
Yeah. You should get other comedians to read some out. All right, let me find Metro Misconnections. I can't believe Guardian Soulmates is over. Fuck.
That's such a shame. It was so silly.
I
I never heard a story where it worked out.
I can't find it. I just typed in Metro Misconnections and I got this article. I want to show you the article that came up for when I typed in Metro Misconnections. Technically, Google, very accurate, but not this time. Are you ready? Are you ready, Chris?
Yeah. 13 times one Irishman brilliantly trolled Metro's Misconnections page.
Seamus O'Reilly is an Irish writer living in London who's won internet fame in the past for his excellent personalized Nutella pranks and his Remembering Ireland Facebook page. But his original, and some would say best mischief making, was when he wrote into the Metro newspaper's Rush Hour Crush section with faked misconnection stories for the crack. He actually successfully submitted them to the UK paper for a couple of years before they caught on and stopped puzzling them, but we still have the evidence of the ones that made it through. So here, presented without comment, is every single one in all their glory. To the sexy Spanish senorita on the number 30 bus to Highbury, I loved our heated chat on Friday, but realized what I did was insensitive to your country. I'm mortified. Please let me make up for it over tapas or paella or whatever. Bearded man who used discarded burger cartons as castanets. Statuesque blonde who cheered me at Kensington Olympia last Friday at 10 p.m. You stole my heart while I was grinding for coins on the street. How about that pint of schnapps we joked about? Dancing Geordie.
Dancing, crying Geordie Dwarf.
Rush Hour Crush. Love, well, lust is all around us, as is proven by the messages left in our commuter cupids. Are they talking about you? To the guy who got on a bank dressed like Mr. Chips from Cat's Your cheeky smile reminds me of the popular sayings, girl in bringing back hanging t-shirt. Red-haired girl working in Sports Direct, Oxford Street, reading her Metro first thing in the morning. I've bought so many things I don't need on my way to work just so I can talk to you. Drink, shy guy with shin pads, a hurdle, and 200 plus debt. Ladies and gentlemen,
I have the actual Rush Hour Crush.
Oh, bring it up.
Ready to roll.
The best story is about being on drugs meeting the Irish president. That's pretty sick. That's it. Rush Hour Crutch coming in from illogical hell. Guardian blind dates can be great though. Mostly meet again, but just as friends. But occasionally you have a couple that have a wild card, like the lesbian couple who got drunk, crashed a party, and left their underwear in the stranger's bathroom. What?
That sounds good.
Can you grab that? I can't grab that link from Tiger, but that's fine.
I got it here. I got the thing open.
Your name was Sam. You were about 5'2" with black frame glasses. You said you were on the way to a pirate. What the on your way to a pirate heavy metal concert? I wish I could have gone with you. Messy, dark, brown hair and big brown beard on the tube from Victoria to Brixton.
Oh, poor messy dark brown hair. Brown hair, wearing a hoodie. You bought a pasta pot, but didn't bring a fork. We both laughed as you ate tomato pasta with your bare hands. You were so charming and funny. Next time, I definitely won't let you leave so soon. Woman in the red coat, train from London to Kent, Tuesday, January 11th at about 8 p.m. Sweetheart, if you're trying to pick up dudes that are eating pasta with their bare hands,
do not pick up a guy
who
hasn't figured out that he could just walk and get a spoon from the canteen on the train.
Yeah, or you can use the lid. You could even use the lid.
Do you think about, I think about this sometimes. I've tried to write a joke about it. It doesn't come across. Do you ever just think about just on a base level how much more women have to put up with in terms of dating than men do? Just
the bar is so low. Barsomo.
I've never had to think this. I hope no one shits in my pants on this date tonight, shits in my bed on this date tonight. And I know so many guys who have dated women who can't say that. They cannot say, have you ever been on a date that ended with a man shitting in your shoes? I know so many women that have to say, I have been on that kind of date. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Deanne Smith has a great, or she did years ago. I haven't seen her on stage in a while, but she had this great bit about how awesome it was being women's first lesbian girlfriend, because guys have set the bar so low that being a human being is enough to make you a fucking god.
It's a train from London to Kent. No canteen. There's very rarely working toilets. Oh my God, yeah. But further to your point, Chris, 100%. Like, it's basically like, do you want to impress a woman as a straight white? Just remember her name. Yeah.
Ask a question and then let her answer it.
Yeah. Excuse me. You don't need to know her birthday, but you just need to be aware that it's possible she has a birthday.
So many questions that I see dudes ask remind me of when Homer bought Marge a bowling ball for her birthday.
Yeah. 100%.
All right, let's look at this one. To the bearded Jewish 30-something, after arriving majestically on your scooter, we shared a glance. Brian, bobble hat, Durham, traveling from Durham to Newcastle. How did you know she was Jewish or he was Jewish?
Yeah.
Was it a Hasid?
Also, there's nothing more terrifying than we shared a glance. That could mean so many things, and none of them might be like, none of them mean we talked and you showed genuine interest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, there can be, like, I think we've all had those moments where you sort of made eye contact with a stranger in passing. You go, that felt more meaningful than it should have. But to write to a paper about it, you either act or you don't, guys.
This is something that listen, I am a agnostic until I fucking die. But something I always remember with dating apps, the times in my life I have danced in that Garden of Eros, is all of the cool people that I met on those things, I knew right away. Like, I knew from seeing the first photo of, like, I'm going to have a connection with, like, right away.
Oh, wow.
It's just one of those things where I think it's like, it's composition of photographs, things that, like, it's just there's subtle nonverbal visual cues that not necessarily, like, you'd be aware of. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like,
I mean, I know it in theory. I haven't, obviously I never got a chance to do online dating, so I can't picture it personally, but yeah, I can.
Oh yeah, you missed your shot.
Completely missed it. Absolutely, wasn't an option for me. Which, I mean, it feels like something that I would have enjoyed trying and then hated. But so I don't feel like I really missed out. I think it would have been.
I've never done it for a super long amount of time, but I've always enjoyed it while doing it. It's also the thing of, if you like dates, you'll that's the thing, is I really enjoy. I also have to pee, and then I would like to read this article that Boomstick put.
I've got it open.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I'm gonna go have a Tweos.
All right.
And then I want to talk about this, Chris. Do you like dating? Like, when you were? Did you like that when you were? I feel like you did.
We'll talk about it when you get back.
Okay, we'll get back. All right, we're getting back.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about, because I have some thoughts on how to make dating apps more fun that I just don't think people have pointed out. We're going to get back to it. I have a lot of opinions on this. Chris, I'll see you in a second. I got to go piss in my own mouth.
Okay, buddy. All right, let's look at some of these lovers. To the dapper, bespectacled gentleman wearing a cravat opposite me, I was stunned by your choice of clothing and would love to meet for a coffee sometime. Bearded bloke reading Metro on my train to Paddington last Thursday. I don't think that I would ever date someone that read the Metro. It feels like it's a news ruse. They're there to trick you into thinking this is news. I checked out a couple of them while I was out there because I lived on trains. And there's such a terrible publication that I would never find this. What is this? I've only tried Tinder. Kimmers says dating apps are hell, but I'm still gearing myself up to go back on them. I've heard they're fucking terrible, man. I don't know anyone that's like, oh, dating apps. incredible, except for people that found the person that they're now dating and then stuck with it. Yeah, you don't give news away for free. And didn't they give George Osborne the editor position straight out of the government? That's not a good sign. Even like regardless of what party he is, that's not a good sign that he went straight from politics, the reigning party, one of the most important people in the government, to editing a daily free newspaper. That doesn't scream journalistic ethics to me. The words metro and cravat sound somehow conflicting. Buddy, well-dressed people are dumb all the time. So many of them. They want you to think that they're urbane and classy. They've just got cravats, bud.
I mean, just got cravats, bud. What a thing to come on. By the way, what a wonderfully satisfying PPP.
I like this layout, by the way. I like this more than the sides. I think it's real good.
I don't know how we like do one versus the other. I don't know what, because sometimes it goes.
Oh, it's different ones. So you can do this, and if you look just under the screen there, you'll have the 7 rectangles of options.
Yeah. Wait.
And
where?
then,
Yeah.
just-
Okay.
Okay. And then there's this one. It's right there. It's right
Oh, I like that one so much better.
yeah, it's so much better, right? I think that's a new one. I think that's something they added recently.
I like that. Get out of here.
Let's see. I'm just
dating
talking about what a shit rag the Metro is, and then we'll get into the dating thing. When it started, it was good because no one cared about it. Then it got popular, and its owner, the Daily Fail, started influencing its content. Yeah, I was just talking about how George Osborne went straight onto their editing staff from the government.
Oh yeah, but that
Was it the Evening Standard? Oh, it might have been the Evening Standard. I could be wrong.
But it's also that thing of the British, like, I hate the phrase "the lamestream media" because it's always being said by people that get more viewers. Because mainstream is not a box. Mainstream is dictated by the amount of people that are watching you.
Yeah.
For example, like, oh, this has nothing to do with dating, but it's just periphery. And I assume you didn't read the article when they went through the finances of Alex Jones, Chris. I've been meaning to do this segment for this little bit of content. For how much money do you think he made in the period of 2015 to 2017? How much money do you think he made?
2015 to 2017?
Yeah.
Does that include supplement sales and such?
This all includes supplement sales. That's where all of his money came from.
I mean, I feel like it's like $100 million.
It's $150 million.
There you go. Yeah. He's a huge fucking following, and he sells chalk pills.
Here's the even crazier part about it, then we'll move on to happier things, is $156 million lost the Sandy Hook case because he refused to just hand over papers.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know if you watched that video of that I sent you.
Would have
won the cases. Would have won the cases.
But I've listened to a lot of stuff about it, and they were everyone basically agrees that it's like the money is worth less to him than what he would lose if people found out how his life actually was.
Yeah, that's what. What everyone's going is, but it was a bad calculation because he could have spun it. Because now the thing is that it's now that means that, like, with that information out, well, the reason why that came out is it's discovery for the case, as I understand it, meaning a judge could go, all of this you owe to them. So, like, and shut InfoWars down.
I just got an alert from the New York Times. The Supreme Court refused a request from Donald Trump to block the release of White House records concerning January 6th.
Oh, shit!
So that could be good. I've been hurt too many times to have any hope, but it feels like a step in the right direction.
I mean, what's more important is State of New York AG is openly investigating his kids.
Yeah, the whole family business.
So what it is the theory is they think that all the kids are cutouts. Do you know what that is?
No.
So a cutout in spy terms is you're watching. So if Chris and I'm a spy, Chris is my
congratulations.
Thank you. Canadian though, so not that exciting. Chris is my cutout. So you're watching me. Let's say you're watching me. You're watching for money transfer, sort of thing. What you actually should be doing is watching Chris, because I'm using Chris. I've cut Chris out, and now I'm Chris from a financial perspective.
Okay.
But it looks like it's all the stuff Chris is doing, but I'm actually controlling Chris.
Okay.
And it's what they think is Donald Trump funneled a shitload of money in all of his kids' names and accounts through the business.
Yep, that sounds right.
And so if they're investigating them, all they need to do is just go, Ivanka said to the IRS this building was worth $2. You said that building was worth $5. This is a discrepancy. We have proof that, by the way, she said nothing. Both of these were actually you. You were just speaking in her name. That means you knew you were lying. Guess what that means? Go fuck yourself. Yeah, and that's all they have to do. All they have to do, by the way, is just tie him up until 2024, and then that's fucking game. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm very depressed at the political situation in America because we're constantly equating equals, and the idea that a racist, homophobic fuck supposedly has the same right to an opinion as someone like Chris Betts does, just a racist.
I can't stand white people.
That's right. See, you didn't know. I didn't mention which race. But it's a fascinating time. I still am just like, hell fucking yeah.
All right. So
dating. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I've realized I've always approached dating apps with is it's a really fun place just to meet people to text with. So I've never thought about it like that. Like that's the.
I don't text with anybody. I hate it.
I love texting.
I can't stand it. And
really,
so that's why like you and Ashley will go on these runs, and then I'll just jump in with like yes. No,
yeah.
Look at this.
Oh my god,
I can't stand it.
By the way,
hate texting people.
Someone should really. Someone yesterday could have really. Let me put it this way: there's a private chat. There's just like an admin sort of WhatsApp group thing that Chris, Ashley, and I are in for admin. And that chat got so spicy yesterday. Let me tell you, if anyone was ever ready to pony up 6 figures for that, last night was the time, my friends.
It was a surprising time. I kept checking in during my show, being like, "Oh,
so did I. I was supposed to do the same thing. I had to fake going to the bathroom at one point because I was just like, I need some updates." Oh, fun times.
Very fun. Oh, Kimmers is coming in with something here. Dating apps would be more fun, John, if men didn't make trying to get a conversation started like pulling teeth. Actually read my profile before swiping right and didn't complain that I can't drive.
Oh, yeah. Please read the NFT boyfriend. You have this. We can bring this up.
Yeah. I got it.
Okay. So the thing that I would say is that, you're dealing with shitheads. You're dealing with absolute fucking gooback shitheads.
Gooback really feels like a slur.
Do you know where that's from? It's from South Park. South Park invented a word that you can use it that sounds like a slur but doesn't mean anything.
Are those the time travelers?
I don't remember if
the goobacks. They took our jobs. I think those were the goobacks. They were time travelers that took everyone's jobs.
Yes, it is. That's exactly who they are.
Yeah.
Those
episodes were iconic.
First of all, the other problem is also you're dating. The problem is that if you're a woman trying to date men, much more difficult. I would say that if you want to throw some instructions and some vibes of what you're looking for, like literally make it quick, like this. You know what I'm saying?
Classic John giving women advice.
I'm just saying, like,
outrageous.
I had mine the one thing is I had to take it off because a bunch of people were like, it's weird, but I literally I didn't do this, but I really wanted to write divorcee as the only thing in all of my profiles. Because there's the other thing is when I was using those dating apps, like alarmingly open, like, hello, here's what you need to know right away. And that's what I say is don't put that on the profile. Here's what you need to know right away, just as a message, like, so boom, 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 and then just go from there. Also, like if they are being a real dick and pulling teeth, just start fucking with them. Get some revenge on men in general. Like
Kimmers, feel free to tune into here and ask us what you should type next. If you feel like fucking with someone, we will happily submit messages for you to put in.
Yeah, like please. And by the way, I wrote loves dogs, hate Tories, and got fewer messages than when I left it blank. What? How? Why? That's wild, sir. Because who the fuck likes Tories? I mean, it's still, I don't know what this means, but whenever I see a racist woman, I'm always way more disappointed than when it's a racist man. Stop it! Than when it's a racist man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's because we were sort of raised to believe that women, while weaker and dumber than us, are fundamentally better, which is just as sexist as the other half of it.
It's the wildest thing.
Yeah.
Kimmer's coming in. My profile is amazing. Lots of great info without being boring, but no one fucking read it. Folk, don't read that. I wasn't looking for so many times. FB asked questions that were on my phone. I know as well.
All right, let's bring up this NFT thing.
Dear man, don't buy your girlfriends and who the fuck? What girl? No.
The ultimate bowling ball. The NFT is the ultimate bowling ball. There is nothing better than that. The Am I the Asshole Reddit continues to be the gift that keeps on giving. If you don't read Am I the Asshole, there's some real. I don't read it because I know Sadaf reads it and she just sends me the best ones. But
I gotta tell you, Reddit is so close to not being fun all the time. But
look at the first line of this. Look at the first line of this. In season 1, episode 9 of The Simpsons, Life on the Fast Lane, Homer buys Marge a bowling ball for her birthday.
Oh my god! Am I the? Are you looking for our? Am I the asshole? Yes. Join.
Yeah, Reddit's sort of whatever you want it to be, as long as you don't go deep into the comments. I go at most the second most popular main comment.
Oh, I hard disagree.
I don't need that in my life.
Am constantly looking at the comments because some of the comment sections for some things get so for example, pro wrestling, like that's one of the few places where you're like, man, I wish they stuck to anti-Semitism. You're like, what? Like, I did not know that they were to blame. I don't know how you think the Chechens did this. Like, yeah. What are you talking about?
King Geo, I agree completely. If you think Reddit sucks, you're in the wrong subs. Reddit is whatever you want it to be. There's a lot of beautiful, fun stuff in there. And there's a whole lot of nightmares because Reddit is the internet. It's all in there.
I remember when in the early days of the internet, if you just wanted to get a viral video, all you had to do was just post it. Before Reddit had different rooms and it was just the front page. Yeah. Like
scroll. Yeah, anti-work is top notch right now.
What is anti-work?
It's a lot of people just posting things that their fucking boss said and pro-strike, pro-union material. It's pretty great.
I mean, I like that. I like that a lot.
Boomsticker nailing it here. Half of Am I the Asshole is this. Woman, my mother-in-law said she'll kill me if I don't have a baby following my hysterectomy. My husband says it's women's issues and is staying out of it. Am I the asshole?
Oh my God, that sounds terrifying.
It's so many women that are just like, I'm basically married to a complete sociopath, but I once burped. Am I the monster? It's like, no, run. You're in danger.
It is the internet, but mostly through the eyes of straight male Americans. So the internet. So I don't want to be rude.
We make most of it. We make most of it.
Like, I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying that's the reality. Let's keep going through this. This is fantastic.
All right. So in season 1, episode 9 of The Simpsons, Life on the Fast Lane, Homer buys Marge a bowling ball for her birthday. This is not a gift that Marge wanted, but it's something that Homer clearly desires. The episode, which is 32 years old, oh my God, struck a chord with women everywhere who have been given a gift by their husband boyfriend that was clearly a gift the giver wanted. And much like the wife in the infamous Peloton ad, women across the land have spent many a birthday or holiday grimacing while pretending to like said gift. The latest iteration of this age-old tale comes to us from a glorious bounty that is the Am I the Asshole Reddit page. In the story, a woman asks, am I the asshole, regarding her response to her fiance's Christmas gift. What is the tweet? Oh my God. Okay, it's very long.
Click on it. All right. I've been going back and forth on this for days on whether or not I should post this, but I'll just do it to get it out of my system. I've never been on Reddit before, so fair warning if I mess something up. I'm using a throwaway account because I'm embarrassed having to ask this question to begin with, so I'm going to leave some things vague on purpose. The only thing I'll admit is that I'm black. 26, female. My fiance is Caucasian, 27, male, and he works in the tech industry. I'll call him Dave. So Dave and I decided to spend our Christmas with his parents, his 3 brothers and their spouses. Dave got a huge bonus this year, and he told me he was going all out for me this year, which makes up for the past Christmases where he really couldn't afford anything. He asked me what I wanted, and I said I wanted a popular fuzzy bag that was making the rounds on social media. Oh my God. We all opened gifts on Christmas Eve. One of the SILs,
sister-in-laws.
Like you got a fur coat. The other, oh no, an air fryer she really wanted. When it came to my turn, Dave handed me his phone. I looked at it and thought I was going to see a track package page for the bag. Instead, all I saw was an art picture of a monkey that was supposed to look like me. I asked him what this was. And he said it was my gift, and then he started explaining to me how he had gotten into investing. We gotta move our screens because it's cutting off part of the article.
Oh my God.
We're moving up. We'll move.
Go
back, Brick. Zoom in.
Well, I can read this part. I asked him what this was, and he said this was my gift. He then started explaining to me how he had gotten into investing earlier this year and had saved up to buy it for me. He then showed his family, who were just as flabbergasted as I was. I asked how much money did he invest in this. He said $8,000. Everyone started laughing, which made Dave mad and made me even more embarrassed. One of his brothers even brought up the point about how it was in poor taste to give a monkey picture to your black fiance. Correct. Dave asked me if I was ever going to defend him. And at this point, I was so humiliated that I just got up and locked myself in the bathroom for a good cry. An hour later, I called myself an Uber and booked myself a hotel until I could make it back home. Dave called me and said I was the asshole for bringing down the mood in his family's house and for being materialistic. I told him that all I wanted was a $200 bag, and he spent $8,000 on a monkey picture. He told me that he was investing in our future together and that I just couldn't see his vision. I'll admit that there were better ways I could have gone about reacting to the gift, but I do feel guilty about totally running off like that without any warning. But I was completely uncomfortable with the situation, and I didn't feel like staying around to be laughed at. So, am I the asshole here?
Here's my main thing, and I sum this up based on go back. The person on Twitter, Kez Dispenser, who posted this article. Okay, in the sidebar. So go down, scroll down, keep going.
These are all just replies.
Up. Just greatest summation right there. Judging by the responses to this, we all fucking hate Dave. Dave sucks. 100% I feel that way. By the way, what that main problem that illustrates is Dave is not good at communication and Dave is very selfish. Dave heard this. Here's what I would like, a fuzzy bag. You don't like that. You don't want that. You want the things I like.
Think of how many fuzzy bags she could buy with this NFT.
And it's like, but no, you fucking dolts. You fucking... And by the way, anyone who's invested in crypto, be prepared for me not to feel bad about for you when you lose all your money. Like, understand when that inevitable crash happens. Guess who's going to be like, oh, well, that teaches you. Dave's not all there, man. Oh, Mildred. Fuck yeah. By the way, is that Christopher Maloney in your avatar? Is that everyone would say Law and Order SVU, but I like to say the chef from Wet Hot American Summer.
It is, yeah. Love that guy.
Yeah, what a wild situation we find ourselves in. Well, Chris,
Absolutely
I feel
nuts.
That was the first lull we've had in almost 2 hours, so I said we call it there. Raid message is Dave's not all there, man.
I like it. Who should we raid? Let's see who's on. We got Fox, we got Sean Morley, we got My Gun Is Huge.
We have who's Sean Morley?
Sean Morley is a wonderful northern comic.
Yeah, let's raid Sharon Morley.
All right.
Quick things, by the way, before we go. Pete Maloney is prettiest guy in Oz. Yes, Meatballs. No one can disagree.
I forgot he was in Oz. He was great.
So tasty.
I mean, he was a Nazi, but he was pretty cool.
I think you'll find he was allied with the Nazis, but he was actually just a psychopath serial killer who was conflicted about his sexuality. If you speak wrong again about Oz, I'll fuck you up.
You know who else was a Nazi? J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons was very much a Nazi. Like there, yeah.
You know who else was a Nazi? The black guy who couldn't use his legs.
No, Augustus was not a Nazi, and I know what you're doing, and it's not
just real quiet.
It's not funny. It's not funny. Augustus was not a Nazi. I was way more into. I once watched so much of the show Oz, and one day a girl came over to have sex, and I said, "I don't think we can do this." And she went, "Why?" And I was like, "I have seen." Like I literally said, I've seen so much rape today because that show is like there are runs in season 3 and 4 where every episode is just. Oh, you thought that was gonna turn out? Turns out his dad just died, and you're like, "What? Why?" And you're like, "I don't. I'm bad." Like this. This show was not
fucking wild show.
Not like it was when the guy, because the guy talks about it, he's like, my goal was to make a soap opera for men who hate soap operas, like to use these like the idea of like the stakes and like the drastic overreaction to every situation of a soap opera, but applied to a prison. And it's like, well, mission accomplished. Also, fuck. Like, yeah.
For me, it's always the crucifixion scene. It's the crucifixion scene, and early on when he bites the end of that guy's dick off. Those are the two things that I think of the most.
The dick biting off scene is what is happening here is we got distracted talking about Oz. A couple of quick things, guys. If you have any suggested show titles, drop those in the Discord. If you have show summaries, drop those in the Discord. We do totally appreciate it. If you are a Patreon subscriber, we will have a Patreon episode coming up for you very soon.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. He only played a Nazi. J.K. Simmons is not a Nazi to my knowledge. Played a Nazi in Oz. To perfection, I might add. He was terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely a delight.
All right. We're going to raid Sean Morley. Thanks so much for coming in, you guys. Feel free to sub or join the Patreon. We're going to be doing a gaming stream next week.
I fucking knew there was something we forgot to announce. Gaming stream will be next Wednesday at 8 p.m. UK time for all patrons. Look forward to to it.
Well, let's just. Oh, well, we'll talk about that. But yeah, we'll do. We're doing a gaming stream next week, and we love you. Who's Choom Room? We'll take a look at Choom Room, and we will raid them next time. Right now, we're gonna raid Sean Morley. We love you.
Enjoy this old lady.
Have you got it?
I got it. Talking about sex. Bye.
And that's all. Penis into her vagina. And that's all. That's all. And that's called sexual intercourse. Some people call it having sex. So the man passes the sperm to the woman, and now his sperm is in her.